Hey everyone, welcome to Nateshade Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Flak's Fade Away build. This build has been updated to reflect the latest DLC, Bounty of Blood, including the stat points from the increased level cap. Stick around till the end to find out what weapon I'm using here and how you can get one. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Flak has three main skill trees, each with their own unique pet and action skill. For this build, we will be focusing primarily on the Stalker tree, with a secondary focus on the Hunter tree. While the Master tree is largely left untouched, the 3 points in Persistent Hunter are crucial to this build. These points not only provide a respectable damage increase per point, but they increase Flak's action skill duration from 5 seconds to 7.25 seconds. Because this build primarily deals damage through the use of their action skill, Persistent Hunter is mandatory and worth getting early on. Moving on to the Stalker tree. This is where we will find both our action skill and our active pet. The action skill, Fade Away, allows Flak to turn invisible and deal increased damage in the form of automatic critical hits. The base skill lasts up to 15 seconds, but ends after firing 3 shots. Flak can equip 2 action skill modifiers, and the first of which will be changing how we use the skill entirely. Gorillas in the Mist removes the 3-shot limit, allowing for continuous fire throughout the duration of the skill. The trade-off of decreased duration and bonus critical hit damage is well worth it, as you now have access to the unlimited critical hits for the duration of the action skill. The second modification we will be using is Unblinking Eye, which provides a significant stacking damage increase during Fade Away. For our pet, we will be using the Gunslinger Jabber. This will provide a small boost to critical hit damage. Looking at the skills in the Stalker tree, the first points will be put into Furious Attack. As a Hunter skill, this skill will be buffed by one of our skills in the Hunter tree that will essentially double the duration and increase the effects of this skill by 30%. With this increase, especially in duration, Furious Attack becomes a powerful damage increase that is relatively easy to maintain stacks for. Self-repairing system is a point dump here. Feel free to move those points around as you see fit. I personally find, however, that the added survivability is the most useful skill here, given the alternative options. Overclocked is a flat bonus to reload rate. Not much to say here. It's not a powerful skill, but again, there are pretty limited options at this point in the Stalker tree. Turn Tail and Run provides good survivability while moving, and a great damage increase when standing still. This powerful skill should be something you consider when developing your playstyle. I often find it helpful to stay mobile while my action skill is cooling down, and stand still during Fade Away in order to take advantage of the increased damage and fire rate. Lick the Wounds is an inexpensive quality of life ability that I recommend taking for all but the most min-maxed specialty builds. The Fast and Furious gives Flak a significant boost to damage and movement speed while they are above 50% health. This skill is a must-have, and you will find it is usually active thanks to Flak's respectable health regen. Hidden Machine is a flat damage increase while Flak is not being targeted, and this applies during Fade Away as Flak does become invisible. The ultimate of the tree is the Power Inside. Again, this is another flat damage increase during Fade Away, and this damage increase is doubled if Flak is at full health. This is an excellent investment for 1 point. Moving on to the final tree. The Hunter tree will start by putting points in Leave No Trace. This is another staple skill for the build that returns ammo on critical hits. While this skill only has a 36% chance when maxed, keep in mind that we will be scoring critical hits without fail during Fade Away. With these bullets being added directly to our magazine, it will decrease the need for reloading and increase our overall damage per second. Interplanetary Stalker is a mediocre filler skill needed to advance further down the tree. Hunter's Eye provides significant and permanent bonuses versus different types of enemies. This skill has the benefit of being completely passive without any need to kill enemies or maintain stacks. Head Count is another cornerstone skill that gives a 30% chance to reduce action skill cooldown by 2 seconds each time you score a critical hit. This ability is crucial to maintaining Fade Away's uptime, and becomes particularly powerful once we reach the ultimate in this tree. Multi-projectile weapons such as shotguns allow players to quickly recharge their action skill, as each projectile has the ability to crit. Two Fang is a returning skill from Borderlands 2, and gives each shot a chance to fire an additional projectile. This skill is essentially a flat increase to fire rate, but it does see diminishing returns on multi-projectile weapons. As an example, firing 2 projectiles instead of 1 is a much larger increase in damage output than firing 17 projectiles instead of 16. Regardless, this is probably the best skill available at this point in the skill tree. Big Game, as I mentioned earlier, will significantly increase the duration and power of hunter skills such as Furious Attack. Galactic Shadow is a flat increase to critical hit damage, and it only costs 1 skill point. This is a must-have for any crit focus build. Grim Harvest is another flat damage increase, and again a no-brainer. The final skill is the ultimate in the tree, Megavore. Megavore gives all shots a 20% chance to be a critical hit regardless of where they make contact with enemies. The primary purpose of Megavore in this build is to help players reduce action skill cooldown in between fadeaways, thanks to the skill head count. That's it for the skill trees. While this build is not particularly gear dependent, I do want to recommend a specific class mod and artifact that complement this build. The Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge provides a powerful stacking damage increase on consecutive hits, and this artifact is particularly effective against bosses, as their large hit boxes help ensure consecutive hits. The Stackbot class mod has a similar stacking damage buff that requires consecutive critical hits. As Flak will be scoring nothing but critical hits while using their action skill, this translates to a significant snowballing damage during fadeaways. This build does not revolve around any particular weapon loadout, so feel free to test your favorite weapons. I personally enjoy Jacob weapons, as critical hits ricochet to nearby enemies. The Call series of weapons are particularly effective with this build, as they have additional benefits from critical hits. Recently I've been using the Robin's Call for playing on Mayhem 10 difficulty. Now this is a new legendary shotgun that was added in the Bounty of Blood DLC, but I found that it is fun and effective for both mobbing and bossing. If you'd like to see it in action, or find out where you can farm one yourself, check out my Robin's Call guide linked in the description. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please hit the like button and leave me a comment to let me know what you enjoyed or what you'd like to see me cover in the future. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future content.